Hey guys, this is Jen with JCT Rustic Homestead and the dogs. And it is March 17th, 2018, St. Patrick's Day. And we woke up to this. Yeah, there goes Melby. We woke up to snow, and I'm not talking like a dusting of snow. I'm talking like, 6 inches of snow. That's the picnic table. Piled with snow. The good news is it's already falling. The sun came out and it's already starting to fall. So if you're not careful, you're gonna get landed with a bunch of snow. So I was going to show you around how some of the plants are doing, but we might have to wait till later in the day. Maybe we'll check on the winter sowing jugs. Well, at least the dogs are having a good time. Razan ran off somewhere. Melby is running. And that is a cedar tree that's covered in snow. Oh, I hear Razan. There we go. Yep, Melby hits the deck. She's a little scared of Razan because Razan's a big dog and doesn't know her own strength. But you can see that the snow is falling from the trees, so I'm going to stay in the open so I don't get totally, I'm already kind of getting annihilated by snow. But anyway, here are there went a dog again. There are the winter sowing jugs, so you can see that when it snows, they do get kind of insulated, but then the snow will start melting and it'll go inside the jugs. Hopefully it won't flood them out, but I guess there goes that plan of trying to show you inside there. We'll just let them be. Okay, so best laid plans failed. The snow really didn't melt through the afternoon and evening, so I had to delay another day. So now we can finally see most of the ground, but I'm excited for some things that I can show you that I didn't expect to already be growing. This time of year, I kind of do walkabouts every few days just to see how the plants are coming along, if I got dead ones or if anything's growing. And that's how I know that some of the plants are actually growing again, which I'm really surprised because we've had a super long, cold, nasty weather than normal. But one of the first things I was checking on, I'm not sure if it's going to make it. They look like a bunch of dead roots right now. I did plant some dwarf hostas last year, and they're just super cute little hostas. I think they were mouse ear hostas, and there's one of them, I think. We'll see if it grows. And then the other one is, I think, this thing. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. There's a whole bunch of like walnut hulls and maybe squirrel poop. I'm not really sure what that is, so we're gonna move on. Somewhere in here, and here's Razan checking in. Somewhere in here is like possibly a daylily. I don't really remember what it is, but it looks like it is growing a little bit. There is a little bit of greenery coming up, which I'm pretty surprised about. There's another plant on the other side. I'm not quite sure what that is. I don't remember it blooming anything last year. Oh, there's another little root thing. And this isn't a location. I might eventually just dig it up because it's next to a tree. It doesn't get a whole lot of sun. And daylilies supposedly like sun. But we'll just see how they come this year. These things are called Yucca. And in my opinion, they are pretty yuck. They're just not one of my favorite plants. They have these almost like desert kind of look. And then they shoot up these stalks at some point in the summer, and there's some kind of pretty white flowers that come and these little pods that form, but for the most part I just don't really like them. They are around this antique planter that we have, and our well is down there. You don't want to mow over that, that'd be pretty painful. But somewhere like in that vicinity there is a really neat yellow daylily that I'd like to transplant somewhere, but I don't really know where it is at this point. And I would like to get rid of the yucca, but I don't think Colton's gonna let that fly. We'll see. We have hostas in a few places. This is one of them, and I transplanted this one. It's the only one I saw of its behind around the farm, and I wanted to take it from a kind of hidden location to around here. There is a little bit of a root thing kind of in there that looks kind of like it might be still alive. I'm hoping it comes back. If not, I guess it's not going to be too sad, but it would be nice if we were able to keep that Hosta, because it was the only one I did see of that kind. Otherwise, there's a few other different varieties around here that are grown in different places. So hostas, there's so many different kinds of hostas. I had no idea. They were not one of my favorite plants either, but I'm growing to appreciate them, especially so that they can be in the shade, and we have a lot of shaded areas in our place. This is a pot on top of an old well. You can kind of see where the bricks were for the old well right here, and right now we put the garden hose here so it doesn't get mowed over in the summer, and it just kind of wintered here because we didn't need it. But this is a pot we stuck that Colton had here, and I planted some flowers, and it looks like a dead flower or a dead vine. It was some kind of vine I got from the store, but when I was gonna pull it out, I found green stuff, and I haven't quite decided if I'm going to just leave it and see if it'll grow back and then I have free plants this year, or if I might try clipping some of it and seeing if it'll root and maybe see if anybody else wants it. Haven't decided, but this tangled up mess is some sort of ivy vine thing, ornamental. I forget what it's called. There's some leaves here you can kind of see. So we'll see if it survives or if I just killed it by pulling it up from its protected garden hose. This is kind of a flower bed I worked on last summer. There's an old wagon that I found just for decoration. It was actually at home. And this bush thing has like little purpley pink flowers. I tried to plant some lavender, but that failed. It just died on me. There were a couple other plants down there that I can't remember, maybe delphiniums, and they pretty much didn't do anything. But I did transplant some irises. We have some irises that I think are going to try to come back. It still feels like it's connected in there somewhere. We do have irises other places on the farm, but hopefully these will take, because that little mass of leaves I salvaged from a little brushy pile. There's a peony bush over there. Somewhere over here there are surprise lilies. They shoot up the green foliage, and then the foliage dies back, and then they'll shoot up a flower head. There's also more daylilies here. Looks like they're kind of trying to do something. We'll see. There's another one. I don't know if this is him or not. Ooh, it might be. That might be my daylily. Right there, that teeny little thing. One might be like a North Carolina something or other. Oh, okay. And the dog's getting into something. And then there were two plants here. I might have killed one when I pulled it up, but they are a longer flowering plant. This is the flower heads after it died back. I believe they were in the sunflower family. We'll see if they come back. They're supposed to be a perennial, but I don't know. And Razan needed to play with the stick. Come on, you gonna give it to me? Nope. Nope. She wants to go chase squirrels and rabbits. She's hunting for something. This mess is sedum, and I believe it's actually some kind of succulent. So they don't require a lot of water. They have like this green stuff, and then towards this end of summer, fall, they shoot up like a red burnished head, and these just die back, and I just let them. I accidentally pulled some out, and I just kind of stuck it in the ground. The root system was super short, so I just stuck it in the ground, and it survived. So that makes me pretty sure that it is a succulent. The other thing I have here is there was this trellis from the former owner of the property, and this is a clematis, and it is a vining flowering plant, and I probably need to chop that off. I wasn't sure if it was going to make it, but when I was looking here the other day, we'll see if it's still there. It had this little bud right there. I don't know if it'll focus. Right there's a little new bud, so I am really hopeful that it made it. Clematis needs a bit more sun than what this location has, but apparently it it was enough that it took last summer. We'll see how it does this summer. I believe it blooms twice a year, maybe. And clematis, I was really surprised. You're supposed to chop it all the way to the ground, which I didn't quite chop it all the way to the ground, but it's pretty close. It also kind of broke. And then, of course, we have your usual weeds. Pull those out at some point. Okay, this is around our patio. There's hostas and peonies, and at some point I will, this is just a great collection place for all the leaves that fall from the giant maple tree, and I'll rake them out later this spring, but for now I think it still kind of needs that cover protection. And some of the peonies didn't do so hot. I think it was just they didn't get enough sun. The hostas are good for shade, but I am super excited to see that this made it. I'm not quite sure how you say it, but like a hellebore or a helleborus. They are one of the earliest flowering plants because I wanted flowers like for a longer duration. And so I just found this in my research. It does look a little bit frostbit there, but I have a feeling it'll bounce back just fine. And there might even be some more plant growing down in there. But the leaves look pretty similar to the peonies actually. And there was a peony here. It didn't really do anything. Colton really didn't want to get rid of any of the peonies, but he doesn't really know this is here. So if nobody tells him, he won't know. But eventually I'm going to have to show him the flowers because I'm super excited about them. And then he's going to wonder what in the world's going on. But hey, we're good. And then I'm thinking that these are part of the hostas. I can't remember. They're either hostas or random chives. Because we did have a random chive issue last year. And I kept pulling and pulling and pulling chives. This smelled like garlic, which is good for mosquitoes, but we still had mosquitoes. But, I mean, good against mosquitoes, but we still had mosquitoes. And there's a few other places down the row that we have this random plant thing going. Back there, there's more and more. So I can't remember if these are part of the hostas or if these are more of the random chives. We'll just have to wait and see. Several people asked last fall if this was a coffin area, and no, it's not. I just dug it up for some tulips. I think there's like a dark purple black tulip and maybe a double bloomy tulip. And actually, since the last time I was here, I don't know what this is, but I'm wondering if it's one of my tulips. And if it is, I'm going to be super excited again. This might be a good walkabout. This wasn't here the other day, so we'll see what happens. At the flags, I planted a couple other things. I can't remember what they were called, but they were huge, huge bulbs. They were huge, like big, probably like close to 3 or 4 inches around. But I really want to dig to see what this is, but I probably better not disturb it too much. Oh, there's another one. Right here. There's another one. So it could be my tulips. There's another one. This is like a scavenger hunt. It's exciting. These weren't here before. So my tulips might have actually survived the winter. If these are actually my tulips and not some random plant or creature. I've seen a lot of strange Facebook videos lately. And then the rest of this was actually is a daylily bed, and it's kind of like that orangey flower, but they were a little different. They were like a double petal daylily, and I've not seen anything like that. But it really needs severely weeded out and thinned out and redone, but that's on the list of projects that didn't get done last summer. Okay, this is the start of the orchard. We planted these last year. There's one apple tree in the foreground here, and then there's a peach tree back there. I was noticing we staked the apple tree like this because it seemed a little wobbly. It needed a little more stability. The garden hoses give it a little bit less abrasion. But you want to prune an apple tree differently than you prune a peach tree. The apple tree, you want a central leader, they call it, which this one kind of has. It got a little strained right here. I think I pruned that off last year. But then this particular one has some competing branches. Like, you can't really see it because everything's like without leaves. But if you look, these 3 here seem to be about the same size, and they shouldn't. You want this central one to be the tallest point. So I'll need to trim these back quite a bit, and hopefully it should recover. I have couple at home I need to prune. Actually, I have 3 back at my parents' I need to prune back quite a bit too. This will need to get pruned back. But if somebody wants to come prune them who actually knows what they're doing, I'd be all for that. And then we have the peach tree down here. And we put fencing around it. It planted all right, but the deer seem to eat all the leaves off of it. And when I was looking at it the other day, these ends are getting dead. So I don't know if the peach tree as a whole is in jeopardy, or if we prune these back, if it'll shoot all the energy back into the roots and we'll be fine. And once again, see how this is a little different. It has a V shape. You want that bowl shape for peach trees. I think it's so the sun can get to the fruit better. So this tree needs a lot of help as far as pruning and growth, but it'll be several years before it produces fruit anyway. I did have a peach tree and it finally started producing really well, and then last year it just died. It was gone. I don't know what happened to it. We pruned it. It seemed absolutely fine, and then it was gone. No more peach tree. So hopefully this guy will survive. I don't know what's going on with our peach trees. They don't get the best sun because we do have a timber on the western side and trees to the south, but we'll see what happens. Maybe Colton likes using a chainsaw. Maybe we'll just have to chainsaw a little bit. Okay, so this is one of the iris beds, and irises, I'm told, like sun and dry areas. However, this is a north facing area, which means it gets very little sun and it gets runoff from the building's roof, so it gets a lot of moisture when it rains, and they so far have done pretty good. Like, they're really beautiful iris. I did try to transplant some. We'll look at them in a second. I'm not sure if all of them will take. Some of them was an accidental transplant. These are more irises I saved from a little scrubby pile. They have a lighter blue flower. They're not as interesting as the other ones, but hopefully they take, and they need weeded out again. And mulched, but we'll see. These are the irises I tried to transplant, and they're really, irises are kind of a strange creature. They have these tubers, and then they shoot down these roots into the ground. It's not a really good example, kind of like this. And the tubers stay on top, and then that's when they shoot out the stems. And we would think that a plant needs to be like this, completely underground, but the irises like to travel on top. So we'll see. And then last but not least are the winter sowing containers. And I know I showed a video a little bit of them covered in snow, but you can still kind of see the condensation from the heat and the moisture in there, so you know they're getting moisture. We'll see. Nothing is sprouting yet. I have some seeds that are probably a little too close to the top. I probably need to fix those. This is clear, so I wanted to put seeds close to the outside so we could watch them. See if they germinated. But I don't think anything. This is the asparagus. I don't think anything in there is growing. Lettuce. I planted lettuce last time. Ooh, either that's wheat or that's lettuce. Maybe. I don't know. Is that wheat or is that lettuce? I'd like to think it's lettuce because hopefully I have weed-free soil. We'll see. I don't know if any of that. This is more lettuce. We like lettuce. Though I don't think we'll be able to consume as much as what I planted, so we'll just have to see. These are some oh no, this is the tomato. This is a tomato that fell over. Nothing yet. These are iris seeds. I'm kind of have my doubts as to their ability to do anything, but we'll see. I don't remember. I think this is zucchini. I forgot to label the outside, but there is one of my cheapo plant markers. I also saw popsicle sticks, so if you have popsicle sticks around, you could use that. These are the garlic, which they may not be doing so hot. They might be dying, or they might be growing. We'll see. These are the purple beauty peppers. Nothing yet. asparagus. I think I already looked at those, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Might be a bust, but we'll see. So once again, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the garden tour, so to speak. If you would like the video, so consider subscribing to the channel. Check out our Facebook page, jctrustichomestead.com, or our blog, jctrustichomestead.com. We also have some products on there, an Etsy store, and some Amazon affiliate links for things that we really like around the farm. So thanks for joining us. Have a great night.